Hey there everybody and welcome to the weekend recap where we go through the happenings from Europe's top 4 leagues and then throw in a bonus league or competition as well. As per usual, I'm your host, Paco, Winter Edition. Oh yeah, there's a small chance that we will have a watch along on Wednesday, so I will keep you posted in that regard, alright? Let's get into it. Wearing our new, fully embroidered Rabona TV merch. Not yet available to the public, but soon. So the situation in Italy is ever evolving in regards to the novel coronavirus, as the number of cases in Italy is, as of Sunday evening, not far off of 6,000, which is crazy. Third most cases in the world now, ahead of Iran, and the cases are starting to increase in France and Germany as well. Spooky stuff. But in Italy, man, it's bad. According to some sources, they had 1,200 new cases reported on Saturday alone. So you can see why the league is scared of playing matches at all, in worrying about the public and their players' safety. Well anyways, on Sunday, it looked as if matches in Italy would be postponed further as Spal and Parma was delayed for quite a while before kickoff, but eventually it went down with Spal, the bottom feeders, grabbing a 1-0 win, which is huge for them. By the way, these of course were the matches that had been postponed from the weekend of the Derby d'Italia, so a few weeks ago. So there are still only 5 matches played this weekend, as they're trying to even up the amount of matches played for each team. The matches were very strange to watch. Without the fans, it sounded like you were in FIFA training mode with just the players and the managers yelling. It is kind of cool to hear though, you know? It's cool to hear what they're saying. But anyway, Milan and Genoa played at the San Siro, and Milan did not look good until the final 15 minutes or so. The problem with that is that they were already 2-0 down by that point. In fact, they went into the second half 2-0 down as Genoa, a team that has struggled greatly this season, took the lead in the 7th minute via Goran Pandev and got a second just before the break. Zlatan did pull one back in the 77th, and Milan did look much better at the close of the match, but it wasn't enough. 2-1 Genoa, a result that actually pulls them out of the relegation zone, so big up to them, while Milan's won just 2 of their last 6 matches now. Sampdoria versus Hellas Verona's was one of the few matches that went ahead this weekend also, with Sampdoria getting that what has become a rare victory in this one, their second victory in their last 3 matches, as they try to turn things around and get themselves out of that relegation fight. They're still just 1 point above the relegation zone. And we finally got to see the Derby d'Italia, but only one team actually showed up, that being Juve. You know, with how lethargic Juve have been in the last while, I was super surprised to see how limp Inter were in this match. With no fans at the match, the vibe was way off, but you thought that, if anything, it would have been a positive effect on Inter, as Juve, of course, were the home team and wouldn't have that advantage from their home support. But it was as if they were playing in a packed stadium because Inter didn't show up, and it's looking like, if not for Lazio, we could be heading to the same old story in Italy with Juve as champions. Ramsey got a goal and an assist, as he looks like the only worthy Juventus midfielder at the moment. A lot of respect to Matuidi and Quadrado on the night. Both were fantastic in my opinion. Ronaldo just missed out on breaking the record for scoring in consecutive matches. A beauty from Dybala to make it 2-0. Easy peasy for Juve, and what could be the last Serie A match for a while, as the sports minister of Italy and the Players Association is pushing for the league to be suspended. But that said, Juve lead Lazio by 1 point as Inter fall way behind. They'll be at least 5 points behind second place Lazio if they win their match in hand. Atalanta is closer to Inter than Inter is to second place now, which is crazy. Look how far off they are from Juventus. Down to Argentina for the bonus league, as this past weekend was the final and decisive weekend. Some matches haven't been played yet at time of recording this video, so I can't say for certain which teams have made it into the Copa Sudamericana or the Libertadores, but we know who has won the league, and we'll get to it shortly. Because it came right down to the wire, and I'll give you 2 guesses as to who were fighting for the title. It was Boca and River. That's right, I didn't even give you the time to finish your sentence because we connected our brainwaves. I knew you were gonna guess anyways. After River drew their penultimate match against Defensa at home, that meant that going into the final match day, they had a 2-point lead over Boca, a Boca team that was undefeated in 6 matches and in hot form. For their part, River just needed to beat Atletico Tucumán away, Atletico being a mid-table side, while Boca were playing against the struggling Gimnasia La Plata at La Bombonera. The 2 rivals kicked off at the same time as well, so it really had that final match of the season feel to it. Not all matches kick off at the same time in Argentina, it's weird, or even on the same day. On the final day. First to River, where a Matias Suarez equalizer in the 35th minute was all that they could muster, as that match ended in a draw. So, as long as Boca were held against Gimnasia, River would be champions. But Argentina is a magical land where, if you'll remember my Halloween video, there's all sorts of dead cat magic and frog magic, and some say that when you kiss a frog, you will get good luck. As you can see here, Carlos Tevez did exactly that prior to Boca's match against Gimnasia, and improving that frog magic is real. Definitely, Carlos Tevez scored in the 72nd minute to give Boca the victory over Gimnasia. A very scary match for them at times, but the victory meant they hopped over River by 1 point to take the league title. Boca with 48 points to River's 47, and Boca's 34th Primera División title. Congratulations to them and their fan base. Okay, back to Europe now as we have a major alert. Bayer Leverkusen ain't playing around. They haven't lost a match across all competitions since February 1st and have won 8 of their last 9 matches since then, going undefeated. The latest casualty, thanks to Bosch and the boys, was Eintracht Frankfurt, a team that has been taking L's fairly regularly again after they had gone on a solid 5-match run. Kai Havertz had a fantastic match, getting a goal and an assist to take his goal contributions up to 9 in his last 7 matches. That's made up of 4 goals and 5 assists, by the way. Paulinho with a brace in the second half, and a 4-0 win for Leverkusen. Comfy, cozy stuff. Leverkusen, they are charging up the table now and are within touching distance of some of the leaders, including Leipzig, who are held to a 0-0 draw away to Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg love a draw, don't they? That was their 9th of the season and ensured that they stay unbeaten for 6 matches running now. I want to see Wolfsburg up against Atletico Madrid. You know what that result's going to be. Wolfsburg will surely overtake Schalke in the coming match days, as Schalke are still bombing. This weekend, they thankfully didn't lose, but they drew 1-1 at home against Hoffenheim and remain winless in 7 matches now. Unlike Schalke, FC Köln keep on winning, man. They beat Paderborn 2-1 on Friday, the first match of the weekend, as they are way out of the drop zone now, which is great to see. I have no idea why, but I have a soft spot for Köln. I love those little goats. But yeah, that win meant that they have won 3 on the trot and 4 of their last 5 matches, which is amazing. These guys started the season with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 10 losses from their opening 14 matches before they started turning things around. Since then, they have lost twice and won 8. Amazing. There was a nice matchup in Mönchengladbach in the Rhine-Westphalia region. 2 teams from the region going head-to-head as Borussia Dortmund came to town for the Battle of the Borussias. Dortmund got off on the right foot when Erling Haaland set up Thorgan Hazard. However, saying that Haaland set up Thorgan Hazard, I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, as Hazard had tons of work to do before scoring against his old team. But man, I love the partnership that is sort of developing in the Dortmund attack. They're looking good going forward. Lars Stindl did equalize later for the hosts, but Dortmund took advantage of a good spell of possession in the second half and capitalized through Achraf Hakimi. 2-1 there. That was the final score, and Dortmund keep the heat on Bayern Munich, who didn't play until Sunday, so a big win for Dortmund. But the biggest win of the weekend was Bayern Munich's 120th anniversary kits. Those are sick. I want one. But anyways, Bayern also won on the pitch, not just in style points, as Müller was set up by Boateng for what was the eventual winner. Stunning ball and finish on that one. And Müller in general has been nothing short of prolific since Hansi Flick took over back in November. What a turnaround at Bayern in general, though. Bayern did have a huge scare in the 88th minute of this match as Niederlechner rolled one past Neuer, but he was marginally offside. Shortly after that, Goretzka and Gnabry scored a lovely training ground goal with some beautiful interplay. 2-0 the final for Bayern Munich. So that win for Bayern put them 4 points clear of their closest challengers, Dortmund, who have overtaken RB Leipzig as well by a solitary point. Leverkusen, they're coming for everyone, and Wolfsburg, as I said, are right on the heels of Schalke. Right behind them by just a point now after Schalke were looking so strong for so long under Wagner. Liverpool. Could they get back to winning, or would it be a 3rd consecutive loss across all competitions? Well, playing at home against a Bournemouth side that could be facing relegation come May, they were much better, but still look a little bit blunt in the attack. Bournemouth took the lead early, but a fantastic display from Mane put Liverpool back in the lead. First, he set up Salah, then finished one off himself to make it 2-1. Again, we didn't see Liverpool pull away, as perhaps their early season dominance would suggest they might do at Anfield against a potentially relegated side. They're off right now, and they nearly ended up drawing 2-2 if not for a fantastic James Milner goal line clearance. 2-1 the final in that match. Honestly, I think that part of Liverpool's struggle in the attack is just how poor Firmino has been lately, and that's not placing blame on him, but pointing out just how important he really is to Liverpool's attack. When he is off, the rest doesn't click as well. He hasn't scored in the Premier League since January 23rd now, 9 matches ago, across all competitions, of course. But he had that hat-trick of assists in between there, so that kind of shows when he's on, Liverpool can score in bunches, because when he got that hat-trick of assists, they won 4-0. Arsenal got a hard-fought victory over a West Ham side that is starting to show some signs of life and a bit of fight in them. It took a 78th minute winner from Lacazette to settle this one in Arsenal's favor, though the second half was a bit scary for the Gunners. Huge save from Leno, a few huge saves from Leno, and later Ozil nodded to Laka for the winner. Leno for me the hero, and Arsenal are undefeated in 8 Premier League matches. Arteta doing bits up there. Salute to Crystal Palace, who are on a 3-match winning run, all 3 wins being 1-0. The gentleman's win, keep it close, but still beat your opponent. This weekend they defeated Watford, bringing Watford back down to earth after that 3-0 smack up of Liverpool. Sheffield United, another people's champ, they took advantage of Burnley and Tottenham tying 1-1 by grabbing a 1-0 win over fellow promoted side Norwich City. The legend, Billy Sharp, with the goal for the Blades to keep them in the hunt for a European place. And of course, Chelsea dismantled Everton at home as Willian and Mount scored beauties, while Giroud and Pedro scored some not so bad goals either. It was an amazing match for Chelsea, especially since they were playing at home. Not the easiest place for them these days. Or this season, I should say. That's 2 big home wins in a row, but the biggest story of the match, undoubtedly, Billy Gilmore. The boy is 18 going on 28 by the way he plays. He looked so comfortable in that Chelsea midfield. Led in passes completed, more than any other player on the pitch, and with 92% accuracy as well. He's looking good. Okay, Manchester Derby. Bruno continued his incredible form for United and continues to prove that he was indeed the missing piece in their attack. As I said in my video, he scooped a free kick over the sleeping City defenders and Martial hit it first time past Ederson. Now 2 things. The foul that led to the goal wasn't a foul, and Ederson looked weak on that strike. Nothing close to a strong hand. But hey, power to United for capitalizing. So, unfortunate for City in that they fell behind due to a weak foul, but they were very fortunate that a penalty wasn't given when Otamendi cleaned Fred on the shins, yet Fred was given a yellow for diving instead of a penalty for United. Bizarre. Again, I don't understand what the English VAR is doing. A bunch of donkeys. But anyways, City were better in the second half than the first, but they could not finish, and it was a game of margins. And Ederson, unfortunately, was on the wrong side of those margins once again. In the 96th minute, he tried to get the ball back into play quickly, but threw it straight to Scott McTominay. And with a wide open goal, from distance, he made it 2-0. Ederson was United's MVP. Had he not made those 2 mistakes, it might have been a 0-0 draw. And that ultimately cost City. 2 mistakes and 2 matches between the Manchester sides in the Premier League have ended with the red side being victorious. Plus, Ole beat Pep in the cup as well. The first time that United has done the double over City for 10 years. Ole has this team playing quite well, especially defensively, and Bruno has elevated the rest of the team. The midfield and attack are clicking well, thanks to him running things. But as per usual, it's not really been a question of how United under Ole can do against fellow Big Six opponents. Only Liverpool has nicked more points off of Big Six teams than Ole has. It's about what United do against the lesser teams, for lack of a better word, the lesser teams. And hey, if Ole gets United to the top 4, as per usual, I won't begrudge him of that. When someone deserves criticism, they get it. When they deserve praise, they get it. And Ole deserves praise right now. 10 matches unbeaten, 7 wins, and 3 draws. Fantastic stuff. However, what's funny is that the win over City meant that Liverpool could win the Premier League title with just 6 more points. 2 wins away. They can still do it at Goodison. They currently have a 25-point lead over City, but City have a match in hand. With Leicester's terrible form, both United and Chelsea are threatening to catch up to them in the fight for 3rd and 4th. Tottenham are sliding, man. Not looking too good for old Jose and that completely depleted Tottenham squad. By the way, for those of you who have signed up for The Athletic, there was a great article from James Pearce talking about how, due to coronavirus threats growing in England, it's going to spike there. I know it. Liverpool could win their first English league title in 30 years from behind closed doors and may be robbed of a parade to celebrate it as well, which is madness, man. In Spain, I have my eye on Sevilla versus Atletico, 3rd versus 5th, 3rd being Sevilla, of course. And when it comes to drawing matches, like Wolfsburg, Atletico are undefeated. And they did it again, boys. Atletico managed to once again ensure that their draw count is higher than their win count in the league, as they drew 2-2 at home against Sevilla. Solid match. Lots of goals, including a penalty apiece. Alvaro Morata scored from the spot for Atletico, while João Felix made it 2-1. But then, before the half was up, Ocampos made it 2-2 from the spot for Sevilla. No goals in the second half to speak of, but hey, 4 in the first made for a good watch. Atletico, they pushed hard in the second, but only one of their opportunities found the goal. No bueno, man. I mean, issues in front of goal continue for Atletico Madrid. Zhuang, however, has scored in 2 of 3 matches since his return, which is nice to see. Maybe he can propel that attack a little more. Athletic Bilbao got their second win in a row, showing that they have forgotten completely about that horrible run that they went on. This week they went away to Real Valladolid and slapped 4 past them in a 4-1 victory. Raul Garcia scored his 9th for Bilbao, while Iñaki Williams got his 6th goal. Funny thing, Iñaki Williams doesn't have a single assist in La Liga currently. Kind of surprising to see that. I know he's primarily playing as a center forward now, but still, not a single assist from 27 appearances? It's wild. Barcelona played at home against the future champs Real Sociedad, and Sociedad really held their own at the Camp Nou, especially considering it wasn't their strongest performance of the season by any means. What separated the two teams was an 81st minute penalty from Lionel Messi. Martin Braithwaite got his first start for Barca and still looked quite decent. Great with the ball at his feet when he's charging at opponents. Exciting with the ball at his feet. I like him. I like the guy. I'm rooting for him. And so, could Real Madrid grab a win to take first place back after they had loaned it to Barcelona for the Saturday, I guess? Well, they went away to Real Betis and had a very difficult time, as Betis continue to show that they are such a bizarre team. They were winless in 6 matches coming into this, but Sidney put them ahead after a Ramos mistake. Then Sidney conceded a penalty that Benzema scored, but another mistake from Madrid, this time Benzema giving it away in midfield, and Theo put Betis 2-1 ahead for the win. I mean, they had Vasquez on the pitch, Bale on the bench, and Real need goals and he's not coming onto the pitch. It's strange stuff at Madrid, but it's entertaining. So, another twist in the La Liga tale as Barcelona hold on to first place by 2 points now. Sevilla, Getafe, Atletico, future champs, all chasing third. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is all from us at the Weekend Recap. I speak on editor Adrian's behalf when I say thank you for watching, and I'm excited for the week ahead. The thought of getting a watch along in with you guys is very exciting, so I will do all that I can to try to make that happen. Thanks for watching. I'm Paco, Winter Edition. I love ya. Go wash your hands. Bye.